Hey everyone, it's Mariana, and I haven't seen you since Halloween, which has been a while. It's been about a month and a half now, and I did not intend to take a break that long, but at the same time, it's kind of been nice to step away and be a little bit re-inspired, but now I am back and I missed you guys. I missed talking to you, and hopefully I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. At least I don't plan to. So obviously I have skipped a few reviews and a few wrap-ups. Yeah. Because of this, I'm going to try something a little bit different. I have never done any kind of seasonal favorites on my channel, and let me know in the comments below if you would like me to continue doing this. I'm going to talk about my top 5 films that came out in the fall of 2017 today, and then we will talk about some of my favorite books that I've read during the fall in my next video. And if you like this kind of format, I will continue doing it next year. Obviously, and I don't think I need to tell you this, but I haven't seen every single film that came out in the fall of 2017, but I have seen quite a few, so I may have missed some of your favorites. Definitely let me know what your top 5 is in the comments below, but here is my top 5. Starting with number 5, I have Lady Bird. This is a strong coming-of-age film written and directed by Greta Gerwig. I do believe this is her directorial debut, and this is a very, very solid introduction as a director for her. It's funny, it's cute, it's heartfelt, and it has a lot of personality. Greta Gerwig definitely makes this story her own, even though the story itself doesn't really stand out that much from the rest of coming-of-age films. I don't think it's going to surprise many of you with plot twists or anything. As far as the bare bones of the story go, it's pretty standard. If you've seen other coming-of-age films before, you will probably have a pretty good idea as to where all of this is going. Relationships, friendships, general growing up, and the struggles of coming-of-age stories. It's all there, and it is generally what you think it's going to be. And that's why it is so important to the quality of this film that Greta Gerwig infused it with her personality and her humor and her view of the world and all of that. And I do have to say that Saoirse Ronan, who plays the lead, and Laurie Metcalf, who plays her mother, have a wonderful relationship on screen, and they are just so believable as mother and daughter. If you're looking for a film that's going to be a nice, relaxing, a little bit of a nostalgic time at the movie theater, you should definitely consider seeing Lady Bird. At number 4, I have It, which is of course the adaptation of Stephen King's famous novel. I have a review for this movie on my channel, so if you missed that, you should check it out for all of my detailed thoughts. But I just want to say once again that I was so happy that this adaptation turned out really, really well, and it was very entertaining, and the 80s setting definitely worked as well. There was a good balance of the horror aspect and the friendship aspect. The cast itself was just spot on. They picked the perfect group of kids to play these characters. Pennywise was really good. I was genuinely happy to enjoy this film as much as I did, because I kind of struggled with the novel earlier this year. I didn't love it as much as most people do, so I was a little bit worried I wasn't going to enjoy the movie as much as everyone else either, but that wasn't the case. I would definitely say this is one of those films that's actually better than the novel it's based on, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing the second part of the adult adventures of the same group of people. We'll see how that goes, but for now, this is definitely one of the best films that came out in the fall. For my number 3 pick, I went with what is probably the most polarizing film this year, and that is, yes, Darren Aronofsky's Mother. If you guys have seen my review, which once again, I have that on my channel, you can check it out if you missed it, but if you've seen my review, you know that I was really, really into this film, and it definitely worked for me. I can see why some people can be really not into it. That's why we have such extreme opinions about it. But for me, this was easily one of the best films, not just of the fall, but generally of 2017. And I am pretty sure you're going to see this in my top 10 of the year as well. This is a visually striking film. This is a thematically loaded film. It is definitely not a subtle film in any way. And once again, I can understand why people would have a negative reaction to that, but I personally have a lot of respect for what Darren Aronofsky tried to do here and how he tried to tell the story that he wanted to tell. It is a film that will stick in your mind for a long time, whether you loved it or hated it, and I was a big fan. At number 2, I have 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. This is a dark comedy directed and written by Martin McDonagh, and this film was an emotional roller coaster for me. If you've seen In Bruges, which is another film by the same director, and I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it, but if you have seen it, you pretty much know what kind of film you're getting into with 3 Billboards. You are going to have moments where you're going to be laughing hysterically, and then 5 minutes later it's going to get really dark and depressing, and if you get emotional, you may be crying. I was. The story is about a woman in this small town who decides to motivate the police by buying some billboards and putting some encouraging messages on those billboards, so to speak. Her daughter was brutally murdered about a year before this, and the crime has gone unsolved, so she doesn't really think they're doing their job here, which is understandable. As you can tell, the subject matter is actually pretty dark, but if you're someone who appreciates great writing and great, well-developed and complicated characters, you cannot miss 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. This is the longest title ever, but I'm just going to keep saying it. The story itself is pretty different from what you would normally see in a lot of films, but also the style with which Martin McDonagh tells his story is very unique to him, and his humor is wonderfully unfiltered, bordering on inappropriate, sometimes crossing that line, but that's just part of the fun. Also, I just have to bring up the cast because there are so many outstanding performances in this film. First of all, Frances McDormand is amazing. It is absolutely her Oscar year. If someone else wins, it's just going to be unfair in my opinion because she is from another world in this film. Also, Sam Rockwell, really excellent in this film. For a while, his character kind of seems like the stereotypically horrible person that we're just meant to hate, but even his horrible character has depth and has development. That is how well written these characters are. Woody Harrelson is really good in this movie as well, and then the supporting cast does not disappoint either. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that if you're going to see just one independent film before the year ends, you should make it 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, because it is so worth it and I cannot wait to see it again. And at number 1, you may have guessed it, but I am going with Blade Runner 2049 because one of my favorite directors ever, Denis Villeneuve, once again did not disappoint. If you've seen my love letter to this film, aka my review, so to speak, then you know how strongly I felt for this film. It is just beautiful and wonderful and everything I was hoping this sequel was going to be, and more than that. I am still not over these stunning visuals. There hasn't been a film this gorgeous, not just in 2017, but just in a while. It is one of the most beautifully shot films I have ever seen, and it's worth seeing just for that. If it's in any theaters, I don't think it is because, you know, people didn't go to see it, of course. I am salty. I'm very salty. But also, I am very impressed by how well they were able to stay true to the tone and philosophy of the original Blade Runner and yet tell a completely new and interesting story. I love this film so much. So much, and I once again cannot wait to see it again, and I really wish more people went to see it in theaters. Anyways, that's it for my top 5 films of this fall. Let me know what your top 5 looks like, and let me know if we have any similar picks or if our lists are completely different. Basically, let me know what movies you loved and why in the comments below. Next video, I am going to do my top 5 books that I've read in the fall. They're not going to be 2017 releases because that's just not how I read. The only 2017 fall release that I've read was Artemis. That didn't go well. I wasn't a fan. So that's not going to be on my list, but if you want to see what were my favorite reads of this fall, check my next video. It's going to be out very soon, and let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. I'm open to suggestions. I'm very interested in experimenting a little bit on my channel with my future videos and getting maybe a little bit further away from just your standard reviews. So any feedback you have for me as far as videos go and what you would like to see on my channel in the future, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video as always, and thank you so much for sticking around even though I took this long break. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!